everyone. Welcome to Deqa Nur Show. I'm Deqa Nur. Today we have another segment for you. I know it's been a very difficult month and a very difficult year, especially with what's happening with the U.S. and what we saw happening in Minneapolis. We just want to send our prayers and our thoughts are with the victims and their family, with George and his family and everybody else who were killed by police brutality. And also to the city of Minneapolis, we send our prayers and our thoughts and are with them. And here in Canada too, and we're standing with the Black Lives Movement. Moving into our program today, I have a young woman. Her name is Anab Mohamud. Anab has a podcast, a program that talks about knowledge exchange. She will tell us more about that. Anab, welcome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
I just wanted you to first take the time to, I know you want to acknowledge what happened, and then after that, maybe share who I know you, Anna, but I know a lot of viewers don't know you. Some do, but also give them a little brief background about you. Welcome, Anna. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. I think it's important, first and foremost, like Deqa said, to acknowledge the current situation, not to just idly stand by and continue programming as usual. Just to acknowledge the Black Lives Matter movement, what's happening with the state, to grant justice to not only George Floyd, Arbery, Breonna Taylor, and even with the recent death of Regis, even in Toronto, unfortunately, and the importance of standing in solidarity and with the Black Lives Matter movement and acknowledging systematic oppression and systematic racism that has plagued our communities for like 400 plus years. And I think it's now the time to demand and implement some of those serious changes that a lot of people have been speaking of for years. And alhamdulillah, we have been seeing small strides here and there, not to acknowledge the changes that have been brought about, but that have been brought about, these peaceful protests. I want to heavily highlight, because the media will spin this around in any which way they can and call it like, you know, an unlawful assembly and so forth, but it really is not that. And really see like who's for justice and who's not for justice. And law enforcement is really not oftentimes on our sides at all. And we've seen that with the history of how they were even created and established in a lot of these communities. So it's important to acknowledge that, and moving forward, to donate, to share, to distribute information, to always have these conversations. This is not just a moment where, you know, people can share a post, like a Blackout Tuesday post, and, you know, call it a day. It's more than that. It's continuous work. I want to also highlight that people can get fatigued. We can have burnouts from this as well. So take the necessary steps to step back, indulge in self-care, and prevent that serious burnout, because sometimes people burn out and they don't come back due to just so much on their mind as well. So take the time you need and come back better and stronger to support the cause and to support the movement. So my name is Anab, like she mentioned before. I'm a fourth year global health student. I recently completed the degree, alhamdulillah, with a specialization in the environments I want to highlight as well. I've done some work here and there, but I think my main interest areas and that I want to focus on in the next few years is urban planning, sustainable development, and the importance of having marginalized women at these tables of conversation on how do we build communities centered around human development, like you mentioned. Deqa mentioned this earlier, and I thought it was such an amazing point that rings so true. So I wanted to highlight that as well. So that's kind of how my research areas are lie right now. Of course, with that comes change and fine tuning, but that's just the general area that I want to focus on as well. I run a blog, so it's called Good, Better, Best, with the tagline, "Your best will always be good enough." And so it really, just a brief explanation on the title, kind of like where I got that from. I just wanted to highlight people's efforts, because a lot of the times, society likes to highlight results and accomplishments and so far and success stories, and we rarely get to see, acknowledge people's efforts, and the work that they put in. So this blog really highlights people's potential, but their efforts are duly noticed and they do not go ignored. Like Deqa said, I also have like a podcast audio blog series that I run alongside the blog, that I try to publish once a month. So for the first series that I have up is The Representation Matters, that I started back the late April or beginning May, I would say, with the first episode revolving around healthcare, representation in the healthcare field and academia, and with the recent episode being with Deqa Nur herself. So we tackle social and community development. So you'll get to hear a lot from her and her field and her experiences. So I shall look forward to that. And yeah, so it's really a platform of just knowledge sharing, capacity building, personal development, and also just the importance of the unlearning and learning process. A lot of the times, I've noticed some people kind of deviate, or like they don't talk about the importance of the unlearning that comes with learning. So a lot of the times, and sometimes, and especially in my generation as well, sometimes we tend to have an opinion, and that's a set opinion that you should kind of carry throughout your whole life. But I promise people, and I promise everyone that, you're not a bad person for changing your opinion based on the knowledge that you've gathered, that you've understood. So I kind of wanted that blog to be something where people, learn something, but also unlearn some few things, some like harmful, maybe ignorant remarks that they may have been carrying around, that maybe they see like a blog post and say, oh, okay, I can kind of see where that person's coming from it. So it's really a knowledge sharing platform. I have a lot of these blog posts that you see is conversations that I've had with some of my close friends, and I just kind of wanted to highlight their voices within it as well, because I think it's so important and so valuable, because a lot of people are not having these conversations, and I think it's important to echo it within this platform that I've shared.
Wow, that's amazing. I really love the part of knowledge learning and exchange and sharing, and the name of your blog being Good, Better, Best is just, it feels like it's sort of like you know a stream sort of, and I know you talked about the 6 steps of learning, and the main idea of being knowledgeable, sharing, and and learning. It really gives us sort of like, as a human beings, one time you talked about like sort of like a evolving, because um, many times people do believe that at a certain time in their life they stop evolving, and I'm such sort of look into that, meaning I look forward to always that evolving, because there's something that we gain. And I think your program focuses on that, the core of that evolving and what we are sharing and exchanging. And I think there's, I don't know how to explain, but there's some deep knowledge, deep human, you talked about community capacity building. So not only deep individual needs that have been fulfilled, but I think it's a whole community that is being served with this podcast and what you're presenting. So what is that 6 steps I think you mentioned, and the core of individual gaining and that community capacity building? Like, would you like to?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. So I categorize it as 6 steps. Like the first one, knowledge sharing. I want this to be a place where people, you know, can pick up something from the blog post or the audio series. And I want people to, like, even if it's just one thing, even like I posted one of my blog posts was like 10 must read books that I haven't gotten to, like a list of books that I wanted to read. And simply like books that you can also read as well, like things that probably entice you, like there's probably an author that you really resonate with that you probably pick up on, like, oh, I've actually been meaning to read this, or oh, that's really a good read. And I just want people to kind of pick up. So knowledge sharing is also an important thing. Two, community learning, which would kind of go on hand in hand with unlearning and learning. I want this to be a place that, it's a non-judgmental space. We can all learn from each other. There's maybe something that I don't know that someone else does, or like experiences that someone else shares that I can resonate with or empathize with and so forth. So that's another important component. The third component, I would say, the importance of finding your passion. I really reiterate this in a lot of my blog posts, and I see a common trend is finding your passion. So whether that be funding some of your passion projects that you've kind of been having on layaway for a while. But I always say, like, with the work that you do, it's not sustainable if you don't enjoy it. Like, you're never going to find lifetime fulfillment if it's something that just brought you short pleasure through economic gains and benefits. Where I do understand where people are coming from when it comes to this economy, and student debt is very crippling and crushing to students. I also understand that I don't think I can move or put 110% effort into something that I'm not passionate about, that I'm not, that's not something that moves me. Like, it's always that inner working where it's like you yearn for that. Like, it's not so much about the results, but it's the effort, and that's the input, and it's the resources, and it's the things you put into it, And so 3 is like find your passion. 4 is it's okay to change your opinion based on the knowledge that you've gained. I really want to reiterate that, because I think, especially in my generation, with some people, not everyone, sometimes it's kind of like you're kind of a hypocrite if you change from one opinion to the next. Like, but weren't you just saying 2-3 years ago this, like, X, Y, and Z, but now you're changing it because you read a few books and you took a few classes and you kind of had like something click in your mind. And I always stop that dead in tracks. Is like, if you firmly believe that people can't change their opinions based on knowledge that they've acquired, then you're really comfortable in having your growth permanently stop. Like, you're really comfortable in remaining stagnant and comfortable in where you are, because based on what a person changing their opinion on the knowledge that they've gained. So I'm hoping that kind of comes out of my blog as well. Like, it's more than okay to change your opinion based on information that you found. 5th one, kind of give or take, but the importance of self-care. Like, I've had a self-care post, or a self-love post that I've posted. But I also reiterate the importance of watering your own garden, because a lot of the time we water everyone else's gardens, but then we have ours unkept for season after season after season. And then what you've realized is throughout the months you deplete yourself, until, not the fact that not to stop giving resources, but when you don't take care of yourself in those moments, like, it can have really harmful impacts to you, and it can kind of make you distant from things like that of sharing, because it's like you're just completely depleted of really every and anything, and you just want to take that time for yourself. So really take time to love yourself first, and indulge in some of that self-care that we purposely put out. The 6th and last one is to live in a world where you continue to put forth effort and work in improving the livelihoods of individuals and people. For me, my main mission and my main goal and vision that I kind of have in the forefront of me with whatever project I do is the betterment of serving my communities and other communities as well. So it's always in the mind of helping people. And that's kind of what drives me, what motivates me to continue to push through projects. And that's almost the first thing I see when it comes to work that I want to partake in is like, okay, what's your main mission? Like what are you wanting to work on? What do you want to do? And am I of any asset to that? And if it's not something that resonates with my overall mission, vision statement to me of helping individuals and aiding their development, then I'm most likely not going to partake in it, because that's not what my overall mission is really in life. So those are my 6 core steps that you can find throughout the blog, within my post, and within the audio series that I like to reiterate a lot.
That is amazing, Anna. That is amazing. To be honest with you, I loved all of them, and it is just phenomenal. I mean, you saying all those were sort of like I can sort of walk through each one and how important they are in our lives. And I love the part where you talked about the last one. It is just it's just amazing. I just want to say thank you for really bringing and explaining each one, because a lot of our viewers are probably listening to you thinking, aha, I like 2, I like 3, I like maybe 4. My favorite was 4, to be honest with you. So it's just amazing. And to have these inspiration talks and sharing and inviting a very significant individuals to share either their journey, or and also to have that presented to a lot of your listeners, and it's just amazing, your followers. um, you know I enjoyed, to be honest with you, the work that you're doing. I know so many people that are watching are probably thinking, uh, just say where I can connect Anab and I can follow Anab, and how can anybody who's interested in your podcast, your work, how can they engage? How can they connect you? And what are the links? What are the information that you would like to share with them?
Yeah, no, 100%. So on the website, it pretty much has an Instagram icon, a Facebook icon, and a LinkedIn icon on top, and I linked it with all my socials. So if you click it from the website, you should see my social media pages. Instagram is public. My Facebook, I'm working on it. Bear with me. And my LinkedIn is also public, so you can follow me on LinkedIn and connect with me there. I really love connecting with any and everybody. And if this is a platform that you also want to hop on, or you hear Deqa with the audioblogs episode that I have with her, and the series interests you, or you want to come on and talk about even your own projects, I really am big on highlighting people's achievements and their projects and initiatives. So I'm really open, free for that. So connect and engage with that as well. My email should also be linked on the website as well, so you can shoot me an email. Please introduce yourselves, not just, hey, I want to be on this, or I want to do this. But please introduce yourself, and inshallah we shall connect. I'll leave the website I'll share the website with Deqa, inshallah, and she should post it as well, so people can stay in tune with that. And also feel free to subscribe if any of the blog posts or content that you see interests you and kind of gives you a good read. I try to post every week, once a week, Wednesday. I haven't posted last week just given the current climate, and I wasn't comfortable in really creating anything or branding anything. I wasn't motivated, but this week you shall see this episode. So please subscribe there and keep updated in the future.
Thank you so much, Anab. That was amazing. I know many of our viewers will contact you, because this is a very, like I said earlier, very inspirational and, you know, resourceful, very educational sharing that is really help, I believe, individually, and, you know, it builds community capacity building as well. Thank you so much for coming to the show. Thank you for the work you're doing. And we're gonna, you know, I will see you again, of course. I just want to say thank you. I know our viewers will enjoy this program. Thank you so much, Anab.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Well, there you have it, guys. This was the end of our segment. I just wanted to say again, let's be very, you know, vigilant and what's happening in our world, what's happening with COVID-19, and also it's sad moment, the fact that we're battling the worst virus in the world. But again, we have another issue, another something worse than, I believe, COVID, which is systemic racism that also we're dealing with. And let's support um, the anti-racism movement, and also anyone that's out there that wants to bring social change and social justice. And yes, we're standing in solidarity with Black Lives Matter, and we are not going to stop until justice is served for everybody. And we owe it to, of course, our future generation and the current generation as well. Thank you so much for watching Deqa Nur Show. I'm Deqa Nur. Until next time, I want to say take care and have a wonderful day. Bye, everyone.